Lexie Hull being back in Indiana in the gym, working out. We saw Keith Porter in there. We saw Lexi shooting her shots. We saw Lexi with reverse layup.
Have you ever wondered why some players get better while others stagnate? The Indiana Fever recently published a new workout video featuring Lexie Hull, and it reveals every flaw in Angel Reese's training methodology. Not just a slight variation, but a radical shift in what counts most for growth.
I'm trying to figure out why she's putting so much time in developing an outside shot when she works under the basket, primarily.
I'm trying to understand why she spends so much time honing her outside shot when she spends most of her time working beneath the basket, while Hull works on game-specific scenarios with Caitlin Clark and Brianna Turner. If you can call it that way, one player is developing championship habits while the other is creating an Instagram highlight reel that has nothing to do with her actual role. Let's examine why this is so important for their futures and how Reese's practice is being humiliated. Stay tuned, because we're going to share a startling statistic about Hull and Ree that will make Reese look foolish. Are you prepared? Let's go now that Lexie Hull has returned. Have you noticed what's going on with Lexie Hull's training? The Indiana Fever recently released a video that is going viral for all the right reasons, in contrast to those gaudy, overproduced exercise videos that are all over social media. The training video of Angel Reese Hull demonstrates a very genuine basketball development with a clear goal. What stands out right away is how intentional every drill seems. Hull isn't working out alone. She's working with Caitlin Clark and Brianna Turner to improve their on-court chemistry. This isn't just aimless shooting. It's a planned strategy that specifically targets the areas where Hull struggled early in the previous season. If you're not familiar with this offensive system, which relies on constant player movement and strategic cutting to create scoring opportunities, Hull's workout directly addresses the skills required to succeed within this framework. You can see her honing her catch-and technique, running through screen plays, and working on movement patterns that will get her open looks. The three main areas of her training for the upcoming season are fundamental shooting mechanics with flawless high release point screen and cut movements, with a concentration on finishing at the rim and building a dependable mid-range game that includes floaters. This strategy is especially clever because it plays to Clark's playmaking skills. Hull is rehearsing the precise shots she will take when Clark creates passing lanes and draws defenders. This training video demonstrates that the Fever coaching staff is focusing more on what worked, honing the skills that turned Hull from a bench player to a key contributor. If you watched last season, you likely noticed how Hull's shooting efficiency and overall impact spiked dramatically after the Olympic break when she earned more consistent minutes. What's remarkable about the video is its content. No gimmicks or ostentatious music overlays its basketball work in its purest form, with no superfluous gimmicks or stunts, just athletes working through repetitions of game-specific circumstances they'll encounter next season. The goal is to translate straight to real-world game conditions.
Lexie Hull, she's back.
You can't help but notice Hull's obvious happiness during these exercises. She's always grinning and definitely enjoying the process of becoming better. That optimistic outlook is not only admirable, it is an essential component of player development. When players truly love their training, they are more inclined to put in the extra effort required to achieve notable progress. By concentrating on skills that are directly related to her role in the Fever system, this strategic approach to training helps explain why Hull improved so significantly as the previous season went on. She is positioning herself to be more than just a role player. She is becoming a crucial component that increases the danger of the entire offense.
The reasons other than the defense she plays and getting her hands on balls and all the other stuff Lexie does that makes us absolutely cheer for her and appreciate her, it's that she does it with such joy. Joy, the three-letter word that is so huge in sports, and we don't always see that in people, but there's that joy on her face.
There is footage of Angel practicing her game in the lab, as they say, and primarily what we see is Angel shooting three-pointers while Lexie Hull becomes the league's perfect system player through targeted development. We're watching the basketball equivalent of someone honing their violin skills for an upcoming piano recital. Let's change the script and take a look at Angel Reese's training videos. which have Chicago Sky fans perplexed when a 6 feet 3 inches post player who shot 18% from beyond the arc last season dedicates her offseason to becoming the next Stephen Curry rather than improving her 44.5% finishing rate from within 5 feet and 39% overall.
Footage out there of Angel working on her game in the lab, as they say, and mostly what we see is Angel shooting three-pointers.
She is not good at lips, but I was looking at her stats and wrote some down right here. She shoots a pitiful 39% from the field and shot below 50% on shots that are less than 5 feet away, which is terrible, and even worse than that are shots from 5 to 9 feet, which are 13%. Every player in basketball has a distinct function within their club system, and Hull has accepted her role as a movement shooter who generates space and opportunity for the Fever's attack. Ree, on the other hand, is regarded as an inside force and a top rebounder for the Skies, but based on her training films, it appears that she was trying out for a different position entirely.
Fact, she is, it's more than a fact, she is not good at layups. But I was looking at her stats, I jotted some down right here, and she shoots an abysmal 39% from the field. She shot below 50% on shots less than 5 feet away, which is bad. And even worse than that is that shots from 5 to 9 feet, 13%.
No, it's Angel. Corner 3 ball, butter pecan burn, Reese left me alone, took my money, and I want it now. You're all going to treat me disrespectfully and fail to protect me. Man down, burn. McDonald's is giving out brand bargains for this type of bag labor, so I'll take a lot less time to assist a brother out. Steph Bang Chicago will only require 3,997 more threes. Social media has been inundated with comments like, "Why is she working on threes when she can't make a layup?" From Sky supporters who aren't keeping quiet about it either. Is Ree trying to be Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark? Asked another fan, capturing the anger of seeing a player disregard her most important developmental needs. There is no more telling contrast.
Oh, it's Angel Reese! Left alone! Bang! My money, and I want it now! Corner 3 ball! Butter pecan! Burn!
Y'all gonna disrespect me and not guard me? Well, hand down, man down. Burn!
McDonald's handing out brand deals for this kind of bag work. I'll take a lot less! Help a brother out! Bang!
Really only need 3,997 more threes to catch Steph.
If only the IRS would leave me alone like angels, defenders would leave her alone for tax evasion, and she would always be open. That's why I adore her odds. Look at her defenders. They moonwalk backwards. Her new nickname is 7-Eleven because she's open around the clock. Baby, and I'm rooting for my Detroit Pistons. For you, Kate Cunningham, the figures reveal an even more intriguing tale. Did you know that Reese's own missed shots account for nearly 40% of her rebounds? That's not a typo. Rather than working on improving her efficiency as a finisher around the rim, which would instantly increase her value, nearly half of her rebounding stats come from cleaning up her own misses. She's making threes that are hardly likely to be included in her real game.
Why I love her odds. Look at her defenders. They moonwalk backwards. She's always gonna be open. Bang! If only the IRS left me alone like Angel's defenders leave her alone. Tax evasion! Bang! Her new nickname is 7-Eleven because she's open 24/7, baby. Bang! Shout out to my Detroit Pistons, Kate Cunningham. This is for
When Reese practices three-pointers instead of honing her shooting from within 5 feet, it raises serious concerns about her understanding of her own value proposition as a player. This disconnect between training focus and on-court role reveals something deeper about basketball intelligence. Players who understand the game at a high level don't just work hard, they work smart, focusing on skills that directly enhance their specific role within their team system.
refreshing to see some shots actually make it. Refreshing? Oh no, that's Angel Reese's music! Bang! You like Mustangs? Your favorite player is Lawal Dang? Oh, you said bang!
You're doing the Angel Reese in the NBA now. Watch again.
Took 2 slabs of butter, rubbed his hands together, and said, butter pecan. All right, back to business. Slam bag work, Brittany Griner, you said you rang?
This fundamental difference in training philosophies explains why some players and teams consistently improve, while others plateau despite apparent hard work. Ree can definitely learn from Aaliyah Boston's approach with the Indiana Fever, which focuses on post moves, footwork, and mid-range shots that directly relate to her role as a dominant center. Rather than chasing weaknesses that aren't relevant to her position, Boston's strategic, purposeful development builds on her strengths. In the meantime, Ree runs the risk of becoming obsolete very quickly by stumbling in perimeter skills while ignoring the interior fundamentals that would make her truly dangerous. The Fever's player development program has each athlete concentrating on skills directly applicable to their specific role, building a roster of specialists who excel in complementary areas.
Baby giraffe. I don't know what baby giraffes did to receive that kind of slander, but I won't stand for it. Bang! The WNBA is back in little over a month. Friendly reminder, we're not watching because of one person. We're watching because of her, too. Bang! Must be nice to look this clumsy at your job and then declare you're underpaid. That's privilege. Bang! Justice for all baby giraffes out there. I will fight the good fight. Bang! One thing to take from these videos, never give up, because if she can do it, you can do it too.
When analyzing Hull's technique in these training videos, what immediately stands out is her high release point, the ball positioned near her forehead before launch. This isn't just aesthetically pleasing, it's also functionally superior, creating a natural shooting arc and protection against defenders who might otherwise swat the ball away. I've always wondered why some basketball shots swish perfectly while others clink off the rim.
Hone her skills after what can only be described as one of the worst shooting seasons anybody's ever seen in the history of basketball. Real good rebounding season, but the shooting, well, it was a lacking, okay? It was a lacking. The mainstream media just decided to cover that up throughout the season when she was literally the most inefficient player within 5 foot in all of the WNBA.
When analyzing Hull's technique in these training videos, what immediately stands out is her high release point, the ball positioned near her forehead before launch. This isn't just aesthetically pleasing, it's also functionally superior, creating a natural shooting arc and protection against defenders who might otherwise swat the ball away. I've always wondered why some basketball shots swish perfectly while others clink off the rim.
Okay, so here you see she's being fed the ball. She's in the right corner. She gets the ball, and again, if you're gonna work on expanding your game, okay, but at least make sure that your technique is right. So I'm hoping that this guy and whoever else works with her will work on her technique, because I don't care how many you shoot like this with nobody guarding you, if your technique is not right, you might get a few here or there by happenstance or whatever, but you're not going to consistently knock down shots.
What's really confusing is that these aren't advanced graduate-level shooting issues. Rather, they are basketball 101 errors that any reasonably competent shooting coach would identify and correct during the first training session. It begs the question of whether Ree is receiving any legitimate technical guidance, or if she is surrounded by people who won't tell her the uncomfortable truth about her shooting mechanics. Her arms and wrists are crossed, which is incorrect form. Your wrists should not be crossed. You should be completely aligned to your target.
Her arms, her wrists are crossed. Her wrists are crossed, which is the wrong form. Your wrist should not be crossed. You should be totally aligned to your target. So this means that her shooting hand, which is her left, is crossing over. Her elbow, therefore, jutting out.
The statistics prepared for the eye-popping statistic clearly show the effects of these technological variances. 0.0 in contrast. Ree struggled to an astounding 44.5% on shots within 5 feet of the basket, which is not only bad but historically bad for a post player taking that volume of close-range shots in WNBA history. To put it another way, Lexie Hull is more accurate shooting behind the arc than Ree is within 5 feet of the basket. Hull was able to convert 47% of her three-point attempts last season, which opens up the floor for her teammates.
Angel is here. Watch this. Look how far out the ball is. Look how far out she's showing the defense. I'm telling you right now, that's what you call cookies. Cookies for days is what we say when we get our hands on the basketball that is shown to us in